नमस्कार। हेल्थ फॉर ऑल के आज के एपिसोड की शुरुआत हम दो बड़ी खबरों से कर रहे हैं। पहली खबर, ड्रग कंट्रोलर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया ने 12 से 18 साल के बच्चों को वैक्सीन लगाने की अनुमति दे दी है। 3 जनवरी से बच्चों को वैक्सीन दिया जाने लगेगा। दूसरी बड़ी खबर यह है कि सरकार 60 से ज़्यादा उम्र के लोगों को बूस्टर डोज देने का ऐलान कर दिया है। इनमें कोमोर्बिडिटी और हेल्थ वर्कर्स को प्राथमिकता दी जाएगी। ये अभियान 10 जनवरी से शुरू होगा। सरकार का ये फैसला स्वागत योग्य है। शुरू में बच्चों को दिया जाने वाला वैक्सीन 15 से 18 तक के उम्र को दिया जाएगा। इसी के साथ आज हम इस बात की चर्चा भी करेंगे कि थर्ड वेव की दहलीज पर खड़ा भारत इस महामारी के लिए कितना तैयार है। ओमिक्रॉन के बढ़ते मामलों के बाद जो डर पैदा हुआ है, उससे मानसिक तौर पर कैसे निपटा जाए और मरीजों के पुनर्वास पर हम क्या कर रहे हैं।
So we start our yoga session with Meher Munjal, a certified yoga teacher who has been practicing diverse types of yogas and also meditation for over 10 years.
So today we will be working on the most stressful and difficult energy centers, that is the heart and the mind. All right, so I'll be tuning in the heart and the mind, and then once we focus on that, then of course we'll play all the bowls together, creating a harmony in the body. All right, so the heart is this one, F. All right, and then you have your mind, which is G. Okay, so like you have सारे गामा पाधा नीसा, ओके, जैसे 7 सुर होते हैं, ओके, इंडियन क्लासिकल म्यूजिक में, वैसे ही साउंड में भी देयर आर 7 बोल्स एंड ईच बोल हैज a different sur, a different vibrational frequency, and today we are going to tap into that mind and heart vibrational frequency as the mind and heart played together because they are so closely related. Their interactions are so close. The mind and the heart think, the mind thinks, the heart reacts. So we are trying to correlate the energy centers and basically align them, calm them, relax them. So like you have सारे गामा पाधा नीसा, ओके, जैसे 7 सुर होते हैं, ओके, इंडियन क्लासिकल म्यूजिक में, वैसे ही साउंड में भी देयर आर 7 बोल्स एंड ईच बोल हैज a different sur, a different vibrational frequency, and today we are going to tap into that mind and heart vibrational frequency. All right, so let's start. You'll keep your back straight. You will sit on a comfortable posture. You can keep your legs crossed or just place them casually straight out in front of you, and close your eyes, hands in the chin mudra. Roll your shoulders. Really try to tap into the energy session today, having a calming, relaxing energy, having a good aura. We will take 5 deep breaths through the nose. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Everybody requesting you to just close your eyes, be in a comfortable situation. If you like to lie down, you can. You can take a light blanket on you as well. If you're sitting down, sit on a cushion if you need to. Take a back support if you like. Or otherwise, if you're comfortable like me, then you can just sit in a comfortable meditative posture. Close your eyes and really try to hear the sound. Focus on your heart while we play the sound therapy for this bowl today. Let's begin.
Welcome to session number 2 The topic is Chronicle of Pandemics, an overview of preparedness to combat impending pandemics. Dr. Chaturvedi, the Prime Minister last night approved vaccination for teens in the age group of 15 to 18. He has also approved a booster dose for frontline workers and people above 60 with comorbidities. What are your views and what's your reaction?
That was awaited for a long time because not the medical fraternity, especially IMA and other people were suggesting that we must work out for a booster dose. It's like preparation for the war. We know that probably it's possible that maybe a third wave or whatever you say, there may be increase of cases. At that time, you require a very confident frontline workers. If your workers are not confident, if I am going the war, and if I don't have those protections, probably I'll feel more hesitant. I'll be more confident as a healthline worker if I am protected. So it was going on for last 15-20 days, this thing. So that was the most appropriate and the most timely announcement by our Honorable Prime Minister.
The Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, which is still considered the deadliest in history unless, of course, COVID overtakes it. The Spanish flu infected an estimated 500 million people worldwide, about 1/3 of planet's population, and killed an estimated 20 million to 50 million victims. How is this pandemic different from the pandemic of 1918?
The only difference between the current flu and the Spanish flu was there was no social media. There was no social media at that time. And for me, I personally feel this is a pandemic of fear. Pandemic of, somebody else telling, pandemic of profits. Fear is the more dangerous than the actual pandemic. The kind of media coverage is a pandemic of over-information. 90% of the media is still covered by the media. I'm shocked about it. It's a pandemic of misinformation, disinformation, distorted information, incomplete information. It's a pandemic of Google experts, overnight Google experts. It's a pandemic of medical astrology. You don't know anything about it, still you want to make a prediction. Somebody said January, February, March. It's not evidence-based, but it's eminence-based too. That we are practicing. It's not evidence, it's eminence-based. Next is pandemic of misery, pandemic of migration, and finally it is a pandemic of webinars.
I first will start with you on your current, on your views on the nasal vaccine that has been announced that it is supposed to come early next year. What's your viewpoint on this?
I guess we should wait for more data both about DNA vaccine and the nasal vaccine, but they seem promising, especially the ease of administration.
So we now move on to the third session, which is an important session on rehabilitation of COVID patients, learning from experts. When we speak of rehabilitation of COVID patients, how long should a COVID patient be careful before he resumes normal activities, especially in the light of long COVID and Omicron? What about COVID patients with comorbidities?
I don't think there is any one size which fits everybody. That is not a response. It has to be tailor-made depending on how the person has fared and what the comorbidities are and what is the support system around the person and what kind of help and assistance the person has received. It will depend upon individual factors rather than one size fits all advice, please. उसके बाद आता है जिसे कहते हैं उदासी का दौर कि अब तो सब कुछ हो गया, अब मेरे साथ इतना सब कुछ हो गया, मेरे घर वालों को हो गया या हो जाएगा और अब कुछ हो नहीं सकता। फिर उसके बाद चौथी स्टेज आती है जिसे हम लोग एक्सेप्टेंस कहते हैं। जब वो स्टेज आ जाती है तब इंसान अब जो भी समस्या है उसके लिए अपने साइकोलॉजिकल रिसोर्सेज, इमोशनल एंड फिजिकल एंड फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज को डिप्लॉय करता है, कीपिंग इन माइंड द ओवरऑल बिग पिक्चर, और फिर उसके बाद ही वो सही तरह से रेस्पॉन्ड कर पाता है।
Yes. How do you say how you've been able to rehabilitate COVID patients both physically and also mentally when they have fears? Especially you come from an area where people probably might be you have a combination of the IT crowd plus a crowd from the rural areas. So how were you able to rehabilitate those two segments of population?
Sir, actually, I was there in the field during the COVID pandemic. In the second pandemic, I have seen people panicking and dying in front of me. So basically, still I am treating the patients of post-COVID fibrosis, lung fibrosis. So इसमें basic idea ये है कि COVID treatment के बाद patients की जो panic situation होती है, still they are fighting. Many patients are fighting with COVID-19 still post-COVID fibrosis. Mental illness is the major concern. They are panicking whether I am going to survive or not. Their family members are on oxygen support, still on oxygen support. So mental illness सर बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है इस टाइम पे. हमें पेशेंट की क्योर तो अलग है, ट्रीटमेंट तो अलग है, लेकिन हमें मेंटल इलनेस पे ज़्यादा फोकस करना होगा, क्योंकि उनके परिवार वाले सब हमने अपने सामने आंखों के सामने लोगों को मरते देखा है, ऐसे कि सिंगल अर्निंग मेंबर को मरते देखा है. तो हमें एक्चुअली उस सिचुएशन को भी हैंडल करना होगा. गवर्नमेंट को भी सामने आके उनको हेल्प करना होगा, जो कि गवर्नमेंट कर रही है, आई थिंक अपनी तरफ से कर रही है. हमें हर चीज, हमें घर घर जाके कोविड पेशेंट्स के घर घर अप्रोच करना होगा. दैट इज द मेन थिंग आई एम saying that today.
2 years since we are into this particular pandemic. Do you feel what is the current, what according to you, what would be the assessment of the current mental status of people?
It's like this. The initial part 2020 was major apprehension about getting infected, not knowing what is in store, and of course the uncertainty that led to a lot of anxiety. The second wave and the last part of 2021, second wave, and after that, let's accept there is not a single person, at least no family, which has remained unaffected by severe experience, traumatic experience, death, ventilatory experience, ICU experience, whole lot of other problems. And so the anxiety then kind of gave way to depression, and yet all of human race globally, and certainly South Asian cultures, have resilience to meet with it. Now, like we were saying in the previous hour, Shankarji, resilience is very nice, that we spring back. You know, if you saw the Diwali festivals both the years, resilience is very good that we are getting back to work. The trouble is, if the resilience becomes carefreeness, because the danger is not over yet, scientifically, epidemiology will tell us. And so, like we said in the previous episode, to repeat very briefly, fear, apprehension, whatever traumatic experience needs to be channelized to being responsible. But let me expand on that from what we said in the previous episode. More than one of us said in the previous episode that we need to be responsibly behaving. What all will it include? Like that film that you shared, Kishore, 1, healthy diet and food habits. 2, physical activity, appropriate physical activity. I'll come back to that in terms of COVID positive recovering person. But appropriate physical activity. Avoid or reduce tobacco and alcohol. Most importantly, remain psychologically as positive and well as you can.
Yes.
इस समय मानसिक तनाव की और स्ट्रेस की और डर की बहुत बात हो रही है. क्या फिजियोथेरेपी में इसका इलाज है कि हम इसका प्रिवेंशन भी करें और रिहेबिलिटेशन में भी हम इनकी सहायता लें?
तो रिहैब, अगर हम रिहैब पॉइंट फ्रॉम फिजियोथेरेपी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, क्योंकि मैं दोनों पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू बता सकती हूँ, फ्रॉम फिजियोथेरेपी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखा जाए तो हम प्रिवेंशन भी कर सकते हैं और रिहैब भी कर सकते हैं. अगर हम रिहैब के बारे में जाने तो रिहैब शुरू में ओनली एंड ओनली लंग्स रिहैब होता है, दैट इज पल्मोनरी रिहैबिलिटेशन, जहाँ पे हम बंदे की जो भी अफेक्ट हुआ है उसकी ब्रीथ कैपेसिटी, उसका SpO2 बढ़ाने की कोशिश करते हैं. तो सारी इंस्पिरेटरी और एक्सपिरेटरी मसल्स को एक्सरसाइज करते हैं. वंस वो आ जाता है तो धीरे धीरे हम चेस्ट ओपनर एक्सरसाइजेस करते हैं, जिसमें आपका चेस्ट ओपन हो और आप ज्यादा ब्रेथ ले. थर्ड, हम आपको पता नहीं होगा बट कोविड में कोऑर्डिनेशन भी अफेक्टेड होता है. कोऑर्डिनेशन एक्सरसाइजेस भी करते हैं फॉर द पेशेंट. ओके, so that's the third phase of rehabilitation. Balance exercises करते हैं and then we come to strengthening exercise. तो ये पूरा rehab होता है जो कम से कम आप 2 से 3 महीना मान सकते हैं. Mentally, if you want to get de-stressed, उसका तो एक ही इलाज है और उसका कोई इलाज मैं नहीं जानती हूँ, सिर्फ और सिर्फ मेडिटेशन और प्राणायाम। मैं बता रही हूँ, उससे आप इतना डिस्ट्रेस कर सकते हैं कि आज की डेट में अभी राइट नाउ मैं आपको 2 मिनट 5 मिनट कुछ कराऊंगी, आपको लगेगा ओ मैं सो के उठाऊं। इट गिव्स दैट फीलिंग, ओके। बट ऑफ कोर्स इट हैज टू बी गाइडेड, मतलब कोई आपको गाइड करना, अपने आप ना करे, किसी के मदद से करे, किसी टीचर की मदद से या किसी योगा थेरेपिस्ट की मदद से। और इवन रिहैबिलिटेशन भी अपने से इंटरनेट में पढ़ के ना करे, किसी फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट की मदद से करे। आप एक बार समझ ले तो आप घर में कर सकते हैं, पर शुरू में आप फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट की सहायता जरूर ले। एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है स्पाइरोमीटर करके, उसको हम काफी यूज करते हैं फॉर पल्मोनरी रिहैबिलिटेशन, फॉर बोथ इंस्पिरेटरी एंड एक्सपिरेटरी मसल्स।